Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the weekly comic book roundup. This will be the second part of it. We just did X-Men Avengers and miscellaneous Marvels, and now we'll be doing our Spider-Man related books, Absolute Carnage, and you saw the title, and a couple DC books as well. So we're going to start things off with Ghost Spider Annual #1. And I'm just going to say it feels very, very, very odd for it to have Annual #1 not even a month after issue #1 of just straight up Ghost Spider. Not That's not to say that I kind of feel like it would be better if they did this earlier, but at the same time, the story actually really doesn't permit it. So, yeah. Anywho, so Ghost Spider or Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy of Earth 65, now attending college on Earth 616, and really just in her forays to Earth 616, yeah, she's got her costume and all that, so she will be fighting bad guys here or there. But she's mainly there. She didn't go to Earth 616 to go to college and not be, hounded for autographs or attacked by supervillains, which makes perfect sense actually. So at ESU, that's where it begins, at the end of class on a Friday night, evening, I guess. One of Gwen's classmates asks if she wants to join her and her friends at a place called Susan Sammy's to get some, do some studying, get some greasy food. And she's just like, yeah, I've got stuff to take care of, so, maybe some other time. And so, but it turns out she lied, there is no stuff. And so she doesn't want to hang out. She likes Eve, the classmate, and Eve's friends. And she would be totally cool with hanging out with them. She probably figured they probably would hang out if, this was Gwen's native Earth. So she swings around rooftops and Spider-Sense goes off and she ends up, falling into a trap. Turns out she's landed in one of Arcade's various murder worlds. And it's actually set up in such a manner so that this is a murder world that has been set up for quite some time and just never been stumbled upon. Well, okay, maybe not quite some time, but it was at least set up long enough that Arcade isn't even actually there. He's just a holographic recording saying, calling Ghost Spider Spider-Man, because obviously if anyone's going to fall into this, it's going to be Spider-Man, right? And it's designed for Spider-Man. And so Gwen is probably attacked by the lizard. And we get a rehash of the fact that on Earth 65, Peter Parker's the lizard. Her ex-boyfriend, Peter Parker. The amazing, spectacular, sensational, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So they continue their fight. She knows it's not Peter, but it's still kind of hard for her. And realizes, it's a robot. Makes it a little bit easier, but yeah, it's still an arcade bot, and yeah. So she ends up having to face off against basically it's the Sinister Six. We've got Lizard, Vulture, Green Goblin, Craven, and Rhino. So okay, the Sinister Five. But it turns out that yeah, Vulture, Craven, Rhino, Green Goblin, and Lizard makes five. Next, she has to face off against two of Spider-Man's allies, Daredevil and Punisher. And she kind of admits that to herself that seeing as how on her Earth Matt Murdock was something of a kingpin of crime, or the criminal underworld, and she's well aware that Earth 616 Matt Murdock is actually a good person and a hero even. It doesn't stop her from enjoying beating up the Robo Daredevil any less. And she kind of questions the idea of Punisher, who is the main difference being that between Earth 65 and Earth 616 Frank Castles are that the one on 616 knows his way around a comb and a razor. But she highly doubts that Peter would actually consider Punisher a friend. And let's be honest, no, he doesn't. He really does not. Occasional circumstantial ally? Yeah. Friend? No. But yeah, she takes down the robot versions of Punisher and Daredevil. And it turns out the whole thing is to basically, is to make Spider-Man relive one of his greatest failures. The death of Gwen Stacy. The finale features a Spider-Man android, which Gwen must fight. And she realizes it's kind of is that how the world views Gwen Stacy? Just a victim? And yeah, but she dukes out with the Spider-Man droid and saves not Gwen. And basically, plays it off. She wins because this was designed to go against Spider-Man. And she's not Spider-Man. Same powers, yes, but different styles. But it turns out that Arcade is a man he's a bad guy, yes, but he does believe in living up to his word. And so, she managed to say not Gwen, so they get to leave. And so she decides to go and visit Eve and her friends at Susan Sammy's, and so they talk a bit about classes, and she has a bit of a self-realization, or self-actualization. She thinks she has a hard time being kind to herself. Kind of realizing that she deserves a chance to just live. So, yeah. Looks like she's going to have friends on both Earths. That's going to make things interesting with the band. Anyway, moving on to Champions number 9. Where we left off, the Champions had, first, Braun, Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel have all left the team. Viv Vision is currently coordinating is currently stepping in as team most recently stepped in as team leader and is coordinating things for the team. However, it seems Ironheart attacked Viv until the rest of the team shows up to see what's going on. So they all arrive, courtesy of Pinpoint. And it's a trap, and they're attacked by Ironheart, who it turns out is under the thrall of Blackheart, the son of Mephisto. He's got a bit of a makeover. I'm just gonna say it. It's not a good look for him. He's actually got a face. What the hell's with that shit? But Blackheart is trying to convince her to destroy Viv, because Blackheart can't corrupt Viv, as she's, not human. Anyway, so so Viv has a more capable and emotionally connected synthezoid sister, Viv 2.0. And Viv and Viv 2.0 have had some issues with one another. However, Viv 2.0 has taken charge of Viv's body and at least getting her away from Ironheart. So, yeah, Viv escapes, but Blackheart has made his way into the rest of the team as well. So Viv is followed by Nova, who slams Viv into Miss Marvel's bedroom, leading to Viv and Miss Marvel taking on the not possessed so much as manipulated. And we get a clear example of Miss Marvel actually having shape-changing powers, or size-changing powers. She does shrink herself down to avoid notice. However, next up, when Nova can't find Viv and Kamala, he decides he's going after Spider-Man. And Kamala tries to let Miles know that, hey, Nova's coming for you, but he basically kind of has I need time to. It's like, nope, call screening, and then he gets attacked by Nova. But Viv and Kamala show up to help save the day, and well, first off, Nova says that the rest of the team never respected him. They thought he was just a dumb kid. They keep secrets from, because friends don't keep secrets from each other. Friends don't quit the team without even saying goodbye. So Miss Marvel unmasked herself to Nova. Saying, my name's Kamala. I'm your friend. We all are. Miles also was like, hey, we believe in you. But it's enough to get to undo or to remove Blackheart's influence. So now, okay, so now what do we do? Back at Viv's home, Braun shows up. The rest of the team tells him, he's actually, you've been replaced on the team, so yeah, we really don't need you anymore. Of course, he's being told this by the members of the team who are all under the influence of Blackheart. However, then Nova, Viv, Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel all show up, and well, it's going to be a lot more on one side and a few on the other. That is where the issue comes to its end. Moving on to this month's Absolute Carnage tie-ins. We start off with Absolute Carnage Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, okay. It's pretty obvious that there is a link between the recently finished Symbiote Spider-Man miniseries and Absolute Carnage. Namely, the fact that the symbiote costume is the father of the symbiote that is Carnage. So, we begin with this actually really cool couple of pages from Spectacular Spider-Man numbers 99 and 100. I mean, yeah, it is like it's seriously cool. But it basically recounts the escape of the black costume. And we see it taking over, man, swinging across town. And it removes itself. It makes its way to Peter Parker's apartment. Fast forward to now. An old man's in front of old man named Leonard Elcart is in front of is having a parole hearing. Apparently he's a former judge, but he claims he hasn't been one for a long time, and he can just be called Leonard or Len. But part of it is, they're basically doing this hearing, because he's terminally ill. So, like, maybe it would be nice to, maybe he would like to, spend his last few months free. So we find out what happened. So he went to New York. Something happened. After him and his wife split up, he went to New York and he saw Spider-Man, he saw Thor, he saw Doctor Strange, saw Captain America. And then he ended up sitting outside the Baxter building and he blacked out, which is what happened in the beginning of the issue. Nothing can be found wrong with him. No disruptions in neural pathways. He seems fine. So him and his son go to get some lunch, and there's a woman at the front of the line arguing about she wants a breakfast burrito. It's 7 minutes since the cutoff point. Now she does start, she does start throwing people around and, gets arrested. Well, she ends up in his court. And he even admits, maybe he should have maybe he should have recused himself. But he was sure he could remain impartial. But, she manages to escape custody, shows up at his home turns out she's more recent Spider-Man foe, the White Rabbit. She pulls a gun on the judge and his son. It's a gag gun, but it turns out that because his son doesn't exactly have the best diet, well, he had a heart condition. He had a heart attack there. She tries to save him with her gloves have electrical zappers, so the basic idea being paddles. So she tries and She at her preliminary hearing, before her hearing, he takes down the gun that his wife got him all years and years ago when he became a criminal judge, and goes to the trial. And, you know, she's making her statement, and he pulls the gun. Pulls the gun, and it goes off during a struggle. Turns out he accidentally killed a guy, the stenographer. But she had a mech, a rabbit mech, which managed to save her. And well, in prison, he got worked over quite a bit by the inmates, a lot of whom he sentenced. And after a while, they stopped beating up on him because they realized he didn't care. So he basically leaves the decision of parole board. It's up to it's on them. If they want to give him parole for his last, for us, give him parole or grant him parole. Hey, cool. If not, whatever. So he gets escorted back to his cell, and White Rabbit pops up outside the window and want to know how his hearing went. She explains she's keeping tabs on him. She expresses her condolences for him having a terminal illness. And she does also express that she kind of like for them to be friends. The guard shows up asking who he's talking to, and looks and I guess nobody. Maybe I guess I imagined it. And so the guard tells him to step back from the door. But Lockhart, he doesn't know this guard. He thought he was fairly sure he knew all the guards. But he explains that this is not the way he wanted to do this. The guard does. As the guard is, in fact, Carnage. He would have preferred to have busted in here, killed a bunch of people, the whole shebang. But he's not at full strength. And so Carnage explains, you got inhabited by an alien symbiote, which lets a little bit of itself in there. And, well, Carnage didn't take it back. And, well, Elkhart said, you're going to kill me? Okay, let's do this. And White Rabbit actually sees it happen, and Carnage basically, says to her after killing Elkhart that he'd stay out of his way if he were her. And that's where the issue ends. All right, moving on to a kind of holdover from last week. There was a shipping issue with Diamond and the shop I usually go to, wherein the shop I go to only got the variants for this next book, on Wednesday, and so they have since gotten the regular covers. So moving on to Absolute Carnage, Lethal Protectors #1. Now, okay. I'll put this out there. It's cool they're throwing around all these old titles from Venom or miniseries from back in the day, but Lethal Protector was the one that introduced Scream and the other Life Foundation symbiotes from the Separation Anxiety one-shot. The story that this is a continuation of is a completely different story. It's actually from Cult of Carnage. But anyway, so we start off with a few hours ago. During Absolute Carnage #1. Turns out when him and Eddie when him and Venom were on their way to go grab Norman Osborn from Ravencroft, Spider-Man called up John Jameson, said, "Hey, did that thing I asked you, were you able to pull it off?" He goes, "Yeah, you're good, you're good." But yeah, he's already been possessed by Carnage. So we fast forward to now. Turns out that the Carnage's family, so to speak, from Maximum Carnage, has been reformed. Doppelganger and Shriek, but now we've got John Jameson. And they got a sacrifice. Misty Knight. But this also comes out of the what happened in Web of Venom called Carnage. So first, Jameson goes to get Misty, and he asks for her bionic arm, which she removes, but she hits a button on it. She says, "Oh, I know what's up. You're here to summon something or bring it back from the dead, and I'm the sacrifice." And it's like, But Carnage's like, "Yeah, no, you're the meal." Turns out the sacrifice is Shriek. But there's a sonic weapon embedded in the bionic arm, and so that's what was activated when Misty pressed the button on it. So she manages to get free, reattach her arm, and start to make her way out. But it turns out that what it wasn't Null that they were summoning this time around. It was, in fact, it was Demo Goblin. For those unaware of the character, Demo Goblin was a demon who started off possessing the Jason McIndale Hobgoblin. Well, the two of them had a lot of differences of opinion, so they split off. And in fact, Demo Goblin really had a real big mat on, especially to kill Macindale. There was also kind of these moments of kind of seemed like maybe he kind of was trying to be a good demon, along the lines of Ghost Rider, but it was never really clear. One of the points where he was definitely not a good demon was during Maximum Carnage, when he was part of Carnage's family. And so this demon returns to Earth, takes over Shriek's body, and now is going by not the name Demo Goblin, but rather Dema Goblin. And managed to destroy. And Dema Goblin does manage to destroy Misty's arm, but she makes an escape into the sewers. 'Cause, 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 'cause Demon Goblin offers to go after her, but Carnage is like, no, 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 don't worry about it. Because I know what's in the sewers. And what's in the sewers are more of Carnage's symbiote-infected henchmen, I guess. So, yeah. That's what Misty Knight's got to deal with. Moving on to Absolute Carnage, Scream, number 2. So where we left off, Scream had gone after Patricia Robinson, the former host of the Mania symbiote, bonded, or what ended up facing the resurrected Scream, Donna Diego. However, the symbiote left the corpse of Donna and went for Patricia. And they're now going after another previous host of the Mania symbiote, Andy Benson. So, get a little bit about the link between the various symbiotes of this, especially through the spiral symbol. So, Scream leads a whole bunch of the hench symbiotes into battle against Andy Benton. But Patricia's beginning to kind of come back a bit. And basically, she kind of has a bit of a break with the fact that she puts too many voices, so she's going to dig them out. And she rips the spiral off of her forehead and throws it on a wall. And basically, okay, alright, we're back to being a good guy, so I'll help you. But she does kind of say, hey, but she informed Andy, should be careful because the spiral could come back. It's not just the spiral. That spiral wasn't just, what I tore off. It's still part of me. So we get the very, very, very quick version of a whole shit ton of people have had symbiotes. And what Carnage is trying to do, and yeah. So, we also got a panel recreating the cover of Amazing Fantasy number 15, so very nice. Well done, guys. But they saved some people, and the spiral reappears on Scream's forehead. But it's not because of anything she's done. It's not because she lost control or anything like that. No, it's because Carnage just showed up. And it's explained that this is about a tithe. Carnage demands an offering, and we will give him what he wants. Unless we stop him. Andy Benton must survive. And that is where the issue comes to its close. And that is... Oh, wait. We've still got a couple more books, don't we? Well, let's move on to an entirely different company, shall we? With Legion of Superheroes, Millennium, number 1. Okay, so... The quick version of who the Legion is. The Legion of Superheroes is basically Justice League universe. They are a team of superheroes from the dated to the 31st, initially 30th, now 31st century. Made up of members of various alien races. And they were inspired by, especially, Superman, but the heroes of the Age of Heroes, such as the Justice League, so on and so forth. They've also been conspicuously absent from DC Comics for some time, especially during Rebirth. So, the issue begins with Rose Forest, Rose and Thorn, I should say, a C-list, D-list DC character, talking about telling an off-screen person who she is, and in fact, it's someone she's interacted with before. Supergirl, who is apparently president. Well, it turns out that turns out that Rose basically kind of got on medication that kept the Thorn personality dormant, and she moved way out in the middle of nowhere, away from everyone. Got married. Her husband died. And but here's the medication she was on that kept her other personality dormant. It's no longer made because people don't have multiple personality disorder, and there's no at-birth cure for it, and so she's just afraid that Thorn is going to come out because she would only ever find out what happened when she was Thorn through police reports or videos on the old internet. She mentions how, one time she woke up in Arkham Asylum. We also got a splash page of her, it looks like fighting the Suicide Squad. I think she might have an ally in this. But Rose is especially scared that if Thorn gets out, she's going to be mad, so mad. So we fast forward to the future of Batman Beyond. Thorn has gotten out, and she become kind of this something of a Punisher type in Neo Gotham. So her and Batman kind of go head to head, and she manages to capture Bats. But after unmasking him, taking him elsewhere and unmasking him, realizing, oh, you're not actually Batman. You're just someone who dresses up like Batman. And they talk a bit about why they do what they do, and their methods. And yeah, but then we fast forward even further to the future of Commandy, Last Boy on Earth. Rose, or well, probably in this case, Thorn, takes Superman's old costume. And, well, yeah, it's not all. Doesn't give you power when you put it on. Way too big for her. It smells good. So Commandy goes at her and he finds something. But he loses Thorn though. Even further ahead in the future, back to Rock, she goes to apply to be a Planeteer. And she's also drunk. And so, yeah. The computers within kind of, one, decide that she's a threat, and call the science police. So she's got to make her way out. And she tells the guy that, she's talking to at the recruitment center, if he sees her again really soon and she's dressed a bit more provocatively and she tries to say, kiss him. It's not her. Her name is Thorn. She's about to kill him. So, yeah. But she manages to snag herself a hover scooter and make her way out of the building, and that's where the issue comes to its end. I gotta say, I never would have thought they'd go with Thorn, or Rose and Thorn, but it's interesting to say the least. I'm very much looking forward to the next issue. Alright, and next up we've got Deceased, A Good Day to Die. So, Deceased, okay. This is a one-shot, this is basically a one-shot dealing with other elements of the DC universe than the main Deceased miniseries, which is dealing with members of the Justice League and, yes, a lot more of the which is dealing with the marquee heroes. This is more dealing with the not-so-marquee heroes. But, yeah. So, you start off, Mr. Miracle and Big Barnum boom tube out to Apocalypse and discover that it's gone. And they kind of have Miracle processes it, and he decides that he feels pretty good about the fact that Darkseid, his father, is gone. So, cut to Mr. Terrific's lab where he's trying to understand everything. Understand the infection by studying Captain Boomerang. So, Mr. Terrific goes to talk to Barda and Mr. Miracle. And, basically say, hey, can you take me to Apocalypse so I can figure out what we can do about this? And they're just like, yeah, Apocalypse is gone. Like, gone. It's like, okay, well, contingency plan number 1. We'll go see Ted Kord and Booster Gold. And so, they figure, and so it's okay, go see them, get the bug, take the bug to London, pick up Constantine. Constantine is being chased through Liverpool by hordes of zombies. Oh, and his buddy Chaz has been turned. So, Constantine immolates Chaz and then does his best to drive through the horde of zombies. But luckily, League members managed to save his butt. Turns out they were tracking him via his Justice League membership card. And he basically tells them, we're fucked. There's no fix for this. I tried snapping my fingers to do that, to do just that. Didn't work. So yeah, we're fucked. Science doesn't have a lead on it. Magic doesn't have a lead on it, so oh well. I'm gonna go get hammered. So our the idea is to basically go to where Booster Gold stolen time pod is, go back in time and, undo what happened. Turns out the time pod is being kept by Fire and Ice in their Malibu home. Well, Fire and Ice have both been turned. Yeah. So Booster, Mr. Terrific, and Beetle go to where they know the time pod is, and Wave Rider is there to say, yeah, no, you're not using your time pod to undo this. I'm not going to allow you to change time. Meanwhile, back at in the Oblivion Bar, Constantine, well, he's having a change of heart. And so he goes to the home of... He goes and manages to join Booster and Beetle. And, yeah, basically... But Barda's been infected. And wait, who did she just? Did she just? And she kills Mr. Terrific. However, things are going odd, and now Booster Gold ceases to exist. He never existed now because of how things are going, or because of how things are going. So Constantine binds Wave Rider to him, but Beetle has been infected and he attacks Wave Rider. And Fate and Zatanna show up and to save Constantine because it's not his time. Fate explains that the world is ending and they must prepare for what comes next. And he's about to go on this whole spiel about the Lords of Chaos and Order, and then, well... Basically, Constantine says the Lords of Chaos Order could eat a bag full of dicks. Because the world isn't over until he says it is. This will be continued next month in the final 2 issues of Deceased. And that is it for this month. Or for this week. That's it for this week. There was one other book I picked up this week, but because I've got something special planned for that and the rest of the series it's part of, so we're just going to not deal with it during the roundup. Anyway, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I put new content. We'll be putting up a review of It Chapter 2 late tomorrow night, early Friday morning. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.